This is the Relationship Podcast.
This is the Mental Health Podcast.
This is the Self-Love Podcast.
This is the Real Life Podcast.
And this is my sister's keeper. Hey! Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome back to another episode of My Sister's Keeper.
Welcome back.
It's your girl, Chae Yay, and
it's your girl, Nina Beans. Hey, y'all.
And as always, everyone, we would like to remind you to make sure you hit that like button, that share button, the subscribe, the follow, and also comment on anything that you would like to. And I also wanted to share some news that we received today, actually, like right before we came in here to record. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't know how legit this is, but I still want to share it because it was like, it kind of took me by surprise. It was sent to our MSK pod 611 Gmail email address. So this one came from podstatus.com. So I actually had to Google it because I'm like, what is that? Is this like a scam?
When you first showed me, I thought it was. I'm not going to lie.
I know, but they didn't ask for anything. So anyway, the email was like, he is obviously from another country, which is like Antigua. And I mean, I guess people hear us all over the world. Like I do see the stats that show that we have listeners in other countries, but he said that we were like charting in Antigua at position 21 in the category Society and Culture. And also, it's all podcasts, which is specific to that country, at number 138 on their charts. So, I mean, I don't know what the highest number is, but I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it's something. So,
yeah, I just wanted to share that with our followers and listeners. Yeah, we see y'all out there, and we appreciate all the love and support. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why we do it, because we know other people can relate to the topics that we discuss.
Yes.
So we're going to continue doing that.
Mm-hmm. And guys, today we have a special guest with us in the house. So it is my friend and also my coworker, Thomas. Hey, welcome.
Hey, Thomas.
Peace, Queens.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
I'm pretty well.
So Thomas, if you want, just introduce yourself a little bit. If you want to, whatever you want to share about yourself, you know, your socials, anything, your business, anything you want to talk about real quick.
My name Thomas. I am the founder and the CEO of a LLC named Peace Pyramid. The Peace is an acronym for Positive Energy Always Creates Elevation. Positive energy always creates elevation, so it's peace. I'm taking initiative as a king and a leader of my community to wake up the youth, wake up my brothers and sisters, and just take the initiative to lead us in the right direction. And I'm trying to get as many people as I can. It's a movement.
That's what's up.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Like, I definitely back that one because our city in general right now is in dire need of something like that.
For sure.
And I know we're not the only ones, but like start somewhere and you don't know how far it can go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's peace.
I appreciate that for real.
So guys, real quick, I just want to do a recap of last week's episode. And last week's episode was titled Ho by Default. Mm-hmm. I think the title is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it
but
speaks for itself.
If you need more of a reference, definitely go check that episode out.
Please go check that one out. That was one of my favorites, y'all. For real.
I hated it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I don't know. I mean, it was nice to retell my, whatever. But anyway, so this week, as we do once a month, is Mental Health Check. This is Mental Health Check number 5, y'all. Mm-hmm. And today we are going to talk specifically about mental health in the Black community, but more specifically about mental health in Black men. Because, I mean, we're Black females. We can only talk about our experience, but we want to hear from the Black male's perspective. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to get into today, y'all.
Yeah. And as Nina and I have have talked about in the past on our other mental health checks about specifically Black men in the household and just growing up and in our families and how it's not talked about enough and just how there's some type of stigma about relating mental health issues to weakness. Like, we're just here trying to tear down that misconception because it's a serious issue that needs to be addressed.
Right. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. So real quick
Definitely.
though, before we hop in, y'all, I got an insert from. It is from NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Health. It's an article called Black Men and Mental Health, Practical Solutions. So I'm just going to read this real quick. It's kind of long, so I'm going to try to hurry up. It's no secret that Black men face a unique set of circumstances in our world. Economic, healthcare, and educational disparities, as well as systematic racism and social injustice. These factors create a world in which Black men often feel like society does not value their lives, let alone their thoughts and feelings. Racism, discrimination, and inequality can significantly affect a person's mental health. Being treated or perceived as less than because of the color of your skin can be stressful and even traumatizing. Additionally, members of the Black community face structural challenges assessing the care and treatment they need. This is resulted in Black men being less likely to seek treatment for mental health services, and when they do, they are more likely to receive inadequate care.
All right, so why do y'all think that is? I'm asking Thomas and Art. I would like to hear your opinion as well. Like that when Black men do seek mental health treatment, that they are more likely to receive inadequate care. We'll start with Thomas.
I think that going back into history, and I'm gonna touch on that more later, but going back into history, they know how important it is for the Black man to have a very healthy mind set. You know, because anything you can believe and anything you can think, you can manifest, you can achieve. You know, so they don't want you to have adequate mindset because if they know the power of the mind, anything you can think of, you can achieve. So if you have that confidence, because the key thing is confidence in all people, in all humanity, is confidence. So they knock that confidence out in the Black man, in the man period.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that it's also not something that's the norm for Black men. Even expressing your feelings as a Black man is like, we grew up as being frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like, don't cry, or, you know, don't be sad. Just stuff like that has just been hammered in us our whole time. Like, I actually tried to go to therapy. It took me like 3 years of me like saying I wanted to go before I actually went. Just because it's like, well, I'm about to sit here and talk to somebody. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And then I still haven't had a good experience with it because I was going. It took me a while to open up because I've never been one to talk about my issues, and you just deal with them. And then the person with my therapist, I don't know what happened to her. Like, she just either got fired from her job. I just got an email saying that she's no longer employed there. So it was just like, damn, I didn't went like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and open up to a stranger.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and now she's not there.
That's discouraging for real.
It definitely didn't, like, I haven't found another one or even attempted to. So it's like, I don't know if I'm even going to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just from that experience alone, like, I really ain't even trying to go through that again.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. Well, y'all know me. I'm completely just transparent about the mental health with me personally. I'm telling you, Art, I hope you get back into it. It's trial and error. I've been in therapy since I was in the 5th grade. I'm 30 years old. I've been through so many different therapists. Like it. Well, plus I'm older
and that's
now.
what I heard. I dated therapists.
You dated a therapist?
Off and on. Yes, I still do.
Oh wow.
Why don't you take
Talk
some
to
private
her.
lessons?
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I know that's what.
You
Yeah.
can't do that. So,
But like, hold on. I'm sorry, real quick to interrupt you, but like, where do you draw the line between just helping someone out and actually being a professional? Like, if you dated somebody,
well, she don't even want me to even like
Talk to her about your problems.
Yeah, I mean, she would, being the person, she would hear my problems, but she also does more with like kids and
okay,
parent kid kind of relationship type of thing.
Okay.
So she's more in that field anyway.
Okay.
But she tells me all the time, like, even her, she goes to therapy, and she was like, "Yo, I went through like 4, so like, don't even like
it takes
trip."
a while.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Like, before you find your person, but like, I ain't even trying.
But listen though,
I am because I got, you know what I'm saying, not to toot my own horn, but I got some pretty good insurance at my job.
so you might as well take
And
advantage of it.
It's like $10.
You might as well take advantage of it.
Right, facts. Yeah,
Like for real. But Thomas, something that you said I want to bring back real quick when you were saying that, you know, like how like they try to take down the confidence of the black man and try to tear it down. I know who you talk about, but I want to get more specific. You talking about slavery times, right? Like back then, that mentality.
It's been
Still
going on.
even now, though.
Well, yeah.
Still even now.
Yeah.
More into the mic, bro.
It's crazy, but it took me all the way to my 30s to realize how this invisible monster play a big major factor in our lives. I'm talking about mental health. And it took me to get self-educated, reading books and opening my eyes. I read James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and he tell you the importance of thinking and the importance of your thoughts. The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill also talk about the power of what I call spiritual principles, and they simple, just having self-confidence, the habit of doing more than what you paid for, the habit of saving. It's just simple principles that if you learn these principles, and it all come from your mental though, but if you learn them and apply them to your life, you're gonna elevate. But it took me to read these books and get self-educated to understand, dang, you know, reflecting back on my life and my low self-esteem. I'm a handsome guy, you know, but I didn't come up, and a lot of my friends didn't come up in the best, you know, neighborhoods and families. You know, we was restricted of a lot of things, you know, and the abnormal became normal for us.
Right.
So we didn't really realize that we was actually we were just taking it day by day, like this what it is.
Right.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of my friends since a young age, and they play a major factor on my mental. Passed away, or a brother passed away, or cousin passed away. You know,
Right.
so these things play a major factor, and it's important, and it's a beautiful topic that we're talking about today because it's very important for us people. I mean, our brothers,
Right.
you know, to realize, you know, this mental health thing is real.
Yeah. And on the way over here, I just want to say I was talking to Nina in the car about how mental health with black people in general, but I guess, you know, more specifically with black men did start in slave times, because back then when people were slaves, like there was no complaining. There was no addressing any issues you had. Like what are you complaining for? Like, you know, there was just keep going, just keep your head down and keep going so you can stay alive.
Yeah,
so
be strong.
Can
Right.
I time in?
Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
So when we talk about right now in the new day and age, a sister named her name Michelle Alexander, she wrote this book called The New Jim Crow, and I would recommend anybody that want to get a glimpse and to be educated on what's going on from slavery times up until today, because you know we had went through slavery. You know, from slavery, we went through the Reconstruction era. From the Reconstruction era, we went through the Jim Crow era. From the Jim Crow era, which was supposed to end like during the civil rights, you had Brown versus Board in 1945. And then you had, you know, leading up into the 60s and 70s and the 80s, you had Richard Nixon, the President Nixon. And he had him and a couple other presidents conspired to put a war on the black community by flooding these communities with drugs and then making it a bigger issue than what it was, and making mass incarceration. The sister Michelle Alexander wrote a book called The New Jim Crow, and it's based on mass incarceration, how they set these invisible traps for the black man to get these drugs because you ain't got no other option. It's hard to get a job. Right. Back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, it might not happen now, but the first thing they ask you on the application are you a convicted felon? And that was a way for them to discriminate, for them to say, oh, you a felon? Oh, no, you can't work here. Oh, you got a criminal history? No, you can't work here. But really what they asking is you African American?
Right.
You know, because back in the 80s, these presidents, and it's facts, Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, and this George Bush Sr. has set up, we going across seas and get this cocaine, and we going to flood the communities with this cocaine. And these people, if you can't get no job, you know, that ain't no excuse. But these people, they don't know no better. You got young 18, 16, 17, young men out here and women. At the time in the 80s, this was a drug, just like maybe Perks and X is the drug of ours time. Back then, cocaine was the drug. They don't know how it's going to affect them. If they were seen, if somebody could have came and gave them a vision of their life 20 years later and how it was going to affect them and their kids, they probably would have thought twice about doing it. But they didn't know no better. And these people, they play chess. They a few moves ahead. I know I can be long-winded with this topic, but this is deep to me because I ain't get to go back to the Willie Lynch. I ain't trying to jump around, but I ain't get to go back to 1712 when a guy by the name of Willie Lynch was a slave maker, not a slave master, a slave maker. And he told these people, because he was running 3 very successful plantations in the West Indies, and they was having problem over here in America with their slaves. They having so many problems with their slaves rebelling, slaves going to war with them, that they wanted advice from this man. They like, how's you running these successful plantations? So he came over there and had a seminar with the slave masters, and he said how to make a slave. He said, listen, if you apply these methods correctly, the right way, these people will be mentally weak for at least 300 years, if not 1,000.
Yes.
The brain got a way of recorrecting itself. The brain gonna recorrect itself because the brain's so powerful. But if you apply these methods correctly, these people will be mentally weak.
That's crazy.
For at least 300 years.
That conversation gives me chills.
I know.
Because I did read about this myself. When I read it, it gave me goosebumps. Like, how was this such a genius idea? It's so sick, but it's so genius. It's working still. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
It makes me sick to just think that that strategy was so powerful.
Real quick though, y'all.
It's a mental mind fuck.
Like, for people who don't know, Kent Thomas, especially because I know you, can you just explain to the people that might not know what that Willie Lynch method was exactly? Like, what did he do?
Okay.
What was his strategy?
So his strategy was he wanted these people to be laborers, and he wanted them to be mentally weak but physically strong. Being incarcerated, this is the first thing that the black man do when he come to being incarcerated. Instead of him getting educated and going to pick up some books and read and get his mind strong, he come in there to work out, get strong. But they don't understand that this is stemming way back in the day, generations of Willie Lynch saying he wanted us to be physically strong but mentally weak. So what he did was he'd get the biggest, baddest slave on the plantation, and he'd get all the slaves out there. He'd make sure, this the key thing that he said, he want the mother and the offspring out there, and to watch this, what we about to do to this man. They're going to get 2 horses. They're going to face one north and one south. They're going to tie his hands up to the ankles of one horse, and his ankles up to the legs of the other horse. They're going to smack the horse's ass and make him split the man apart in front of his baby mom. I hate to say that term, but baby mom and son. What's going to happen is it's going to install fear into her, and then it reverse the roles, because the man is the protector and the provider. The woman is the nurturer and the lover. But if the man ain't there to protect and provide, she got to do both roles. She got to protect and provide. So if you go to current days right now and see how independent women are and how they strive to be, the protector, the provider, especially the provider, they always gonna want a protector, but they really strive to be the provider, and it's really stemmed from back in these days when they ain't had no choice, because these people had stripped them for the power of their protector and provider and put them to lead, but they leading, but they still got to come to this man, which was the slave masters at the time, to get the lead. And I can give you a little example how they take from apples and turn it to applesauce. So from back in the day, it's the same thing now. If you go to Section 8 or child support, you know what I mean? You got to go to these people to get child support, but the first thing you got to do is put him on child support to get this assistance. When you put him on child support, now they stripping him for everything. They stripping him for his license, his privileges, and I ain't saying that some man deserve it. Some man, if you just a deadbeat, if you just out here just laying around, just having sex with women and having kids, man, you probably deserve to be stripped for everything. I hope you get educated though
Right.
at some point in your life and step up and be the man that you're supposed to be as a man. You know, creating in this world. But not to get sidetracked, Section 8 is another thing. If a woman got Section 8, and these things though are still tools that they use to keep the people, the minorities, stagnated. Because if you got Section 8, you can't make so much money. Because if you make so much money, you're going to lose your Section 8.
Right.
If you getting food stamps, if you make so much money, you can't get food stamps. So some people with the weak mentality, they feel like they got to depend on the government to get these food stamps, to get this assistance, to get these
Healthcare.
healthcare.
Yeah.
I want to chime in real quick, Thomas. That was like perfect what you just said, because I don't know when this was, maybe like a month or two ago, y'all. I saw something on Facebook that pissed me off. I laughed at it at first, but I actually got sad reading the comments. I don't remember exactly what the status post was, but somebody said something about, I don't know how they said it, but basically I was reading the comments and a lot of people was saying that, and they decided to not get married to like their baby dad and stuff because they wanted to keep their food stamps, or they wanted to stay on welfare. And I'm just like, what? Like they said it's easier to stay on.
It stagnates people for sure, because like you said, many people will be like, I'm not gonna get a job because I'm gonna lose my food stamps.
Right.
It's the wildest shit I ever heard in my life.
Right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna do this because I don't want to lose my cash. Like,
Let me tell y'all something. I used to get healthcare for free for me and my son. I used to get almost $500 in food stamps.
Wow.
But I did not want to be a statistic. I stayed out of trouble and I kept my record clean. I got a government job. I got off welfare. At first, it broke my soul. Like, it did.
What, when you applied it did, or?
No, when I
you
got
got
cut
off.
off.
Oh.
I got cut off, like, without a warning. It was just,
Wait, they
that's
just stopped it?
Yeah.
once you got hired,
Oh.
It was crazy. Like, I didn't expect it to be so soon. And then, but I was proud of myself, but I understand why people do want to stay on it. It sucks. I understand though. Like,
it's no love for the middle class.
I work my ass off, okay? And I feel like I'm struggling. I'm barely making it. Just to not be a statistic. Like,
Same.
that's sad.
Yeah.
I work for the federal government.
That's crazy.
And I didn't want to be a statistic. I got off the government assistance and I don't feel like it's worth it. Like, it sucks. I struggle with that for real. Like, I don't want to quit my job. I want to keep it. I'm proud of myself. It's just not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't make it easy.
No, they don't. Because when you really under the poverty level, you got to think you get childcare, you get
Yes.
cash till that run out, but you get food stamps and you get medical. Mm-hmm. Soon as you meet a basic criteria, which is not even like that high, and they go
No.
off your gross. You know,
Yeah.
they go off what you gross, not what you bring home.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's what you
Yes.
gross. So then once you lose that, you lose your. Once you get to that amount, you lose your child care.
Wow.
You lose your food stamps. You know, you lose any cash that you was getting from them. So it is like I'm barely making it. Now you're not even making it. Like
Right.
child care is one of the most expensive
I
things.
calculated it for my son for the year. It was $9,000 for the year if I'm paying out of pocket.
Wow.
It's probably more now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's definitely
You
more.
know what's really, I can't put the word on it, but it's crazy for real that people, like, when you get a certain amount of money from working a job, so you got, I'm sorry y'all, I kind of,
No, you good. You good.
but I come back to me real
Okay.
quick. I kind of lost my train of
No,
thought.
no, you
No,
good.
it's all
I
good.
lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but you lose everything, and then you just be back to like, you're really thinking about like, man, should I quit this job?
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
That's
Is it worth
crazy.
it?
That is
'Cause-
just.
It keeps you, like you said, at one level, like forever. But you're living comfortable and you don't have to struggle. So it's like,
And this is what I was gonna say. I was gonna talk about inflation because if we go back into the day, back into like the 90s, every day the government is printing up money, and he printing up this money, and he just printing it up. If we was printing up money that he printing up right now, we'd go to jail. It's called counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? So he printing up all this money, putting it into the world or United States, and it's causing inflation. So it's causing the prices of everything to rise. You know what I mean? So when you get a job and you working $15, $16 an hour, $17, $18 an hour, right now today, it sound good,
Right.
but if you really paying attention to inflation, it's just like how it was when we was making $10 an
Yes.
hour.
Right.
It is. If you do 20, because it sound like you said, it sound crazy. Like my dude was like, man, people on Facebook be acting like $20 an hour ain't shit. And I was like, bruh, like
It really ain't no
when
more.
You break it down,
It's
it really ain't. Like
Yeah.
$20 ain't. I don't even. You do the math. I don't feel like doing the math right now, but I'm sure it ain't 50,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? And
I almost made it, but I ain't make it. I was like 49.
If you
I made 52, so I'm
okay.
making 20 right
Okay.
now. I made 52.
Okay,
but
so
it's
it
still
is over there.
yeah,
But like
it's
you
still-
add some kids in there.
Oh, yeah.
You add, you know what I'm saying? You add a couple different factors in that. And like you said, everything gas was fucking $4. You didn't make no more money at your job.
Right.
Eggs is going up. You don't get paid no more money.
Nope.
Right.
So it's like you was barely making it with it where it was 10 years ago.
Right.
Now these prices is going up more than what your paycheck going up.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
And that's something else that really play on ours mind. You know, Meek Mill said it the best, man. We fighting three things. You know, poverty, racism. We fighting poverty. You know, every day we got to struggle with poverty. Then we fighting racism.
Yeah.
And what was the third thing Meek Mill said on the championship, man? He said we was fighting three things, man: poverty, racism. I've been thinking about it all day, but I kind of
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even, let me see. But
Never ending battle.
in the streets. That's what it was. The streets.
Oh, okay.
You know. We
Yeah.
every day coming up in the community. I got so many people that I love that got caught up in the streets, and they winded up in two places. You was incarcerated
Dead.
or dead. You know, I got brothers that I love dearly that lost their lives, you know, in the bar. I got my friends, cool as heck, man. I'm talking about you would love they vibe. Going out, you know, just being in the streets, lost their life. You know, I got friends that got caught up in some mess and that's doing life in the day in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? So that's one of the battles, you know, when you wake up, and especially if you ain't got no job, you know, you got to wake up and you trying to fend for yourself in these streets, you know. So we fighting that. You know, we fighting what we talked about with the Willie Lynch theory, you know, going from slavery to the Jim Crow era to the new Jim Crow era. Because the new Jim Crow era that the sister talked about, Michelle Alexander, was the mass incarceration thing, where these people putting these invisible traps out here, and the person that's not woke to see it's invisible. You got to think about the word invisible. It's
Right.
invisible. So if you don't see it, you don't see what's about to come to you.
Right.
You know, until sometimes it's too late. You know, so that's you know the racism thing. You know, then poverty. You know, a lot of us was born. We wasn't born with the in the you know federal. You know, whoever federal was, or the Rothschilds, or you know the Rockefellers. You know,
Right.
some of these
Yeah.
families got generational wealth. Just you
Right.
know, you born into this. You know, some of you know a lot of us minorities
Yep.
is born into straight poverty. You know what I'm saying? So them three battles that the black man got to face.
I always said that if we were going to get reparations, I don't want the money, I want the knowledge. Because that's something that is going to knowledge.
all I heard was, I mean,
don't
yeah,
agree?
well, I want some money.
Not at all.
I want some money.
Knowledge is going to take you far. If you knew how to keep your credit straight,
I mean, I want
from
the knowledge
a younger
too, but I want the
age,
money
if you
as well.
knew what to
I want
do,
all of that.
if you knew what to do with the money once you got it, that's different.
Well,
if you
yeah.
just get the money and blow it, what's the point?
But if
Well, I
you never
wanna
get the
invest.
money,
What is the point?
if you never get the money though, it's like
You
You
can
gotta
make,
get both.
you can learn how to make the money with the knowledge. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, she right though.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I would take both if that was the choice.
If you get money, how many people gonna be broke in the next 5
you know
years?
only broke people with degrees.
That's crazy.
Do I know broke people with degrees?
Yeah,
I know a
Yeah,
lot of
there's
them.
broke people with degrees.
Yeah.
they got knowledge.
They don't have the right knowledge. Are they learning about finances? No, they're probably learning about something like general education. So
That's powerful
I
that you
mean,
saying that.
yes, knowledge is worth way more than money.
Robert Kiyosaki.
You could pass that down generations to your family once you
Right.
learn how to build yourself up and keep it up. If you got money in hand, you gonna blow it all. Once you never had it, you ain't gonna know what to do with it.
You know,
People who hit the lottery be broke in 5 years.
That's different. I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah.
But then you got somebody that like, and I hate to even use this as an example, but you got somebody like Mayweather who can't read, but
He
Well, he could pay people to manage his money.
I'm saying like he gonna his generational wealth.
Yeah.
I
You know
have
what I'm
to agree with sis on this because Robert Kiyosaki talked about just man, poor people would just make poor decisions with their money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you mentally poor, you're gonna make, you know, poor decisions with your money.
I
You can
agree
give
with that.
a
Yeah.
rich person a $1 and they're gonna find a way to be back rich. But you can
Yes.
give a poor person $1 million and they're gonna find a way to be broke.
Buy a
I
whole
get
bunch
what
of
you said
cars,
about the
a
lottery.
mansion, all this unnecessary vacations. It's gonna be gone.
That's true. Okay.
It's gonna be gone.
But that's not with everybody though.
Not it's with the majority.
The
People who
majority,
never
though.
had it. What you think they're gonna do? It? They gonna live their life up for 5 years and then it's
No,
gonna be
I
gone.
agree. I agree. I'm just not one of them. I want the money.
Yeah, I know. I would pay personally. I would pay to get somebody who is a stockbroker. I want a financial advisor. I want a stockbroker.
all
I
that.
need somebody to help me manage my money. I want to start a business. I need residual income.
We
I
used
need
to have
all of that.
conversations like, what you do? What's the first thing you do when you win a lottery? You know, those used to be conversations we used to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we all used to be like, just go somewhere for like 2 weeks and
Yeah.
just so you could plan out shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right.
Yeah.
Like they got whole shows about people that won the lottery and be broke
Yeah,
within the next year.
that's sad.
I mean, and, hey, we seen what happened with just recently, like the hood. The hood had PPP,
Oh, yeah.
PUA.
Oh,
And guess what?
yeah.
That
I've
money
seen
went
scat
right
packs.
back into the system.
Right.
It
Yeah.
circulated all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Y'all
back in there.
That wasn't no real money though, but I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
It felt like it. They felt rich.
All right, y'all.
Them flights was real cheap though.
We got to get back on topic though.
I know we
sorry.
really did. We
No,
talked
it's
about
good.
mental
But,
health.
but no, it's cool though, because this was a good conversation. But we
So,
do got some
we got facts and
statistics for y'all.
So
Real quick.
the first one is that 25% of African Americans seek mental health treatment, which is very low.
You
Yes.
said 25%?
25%. So mine says nearly 10% of black people in the U.S. do not have health care.
10%?
10%.
What's our percent as a total? I wonder.
I didn't see all that, but it said 10% do not have health care.
And researchers believe that racial trauma is one of the reasons black people in some communities have higher rates of PTSD. For example, 8.7% compared to white people at 7.4%.
Okay. And studies also show that African American youth are at risk of developing PTSD. Nearly 65% of African American youth report traumatic experiences compared to 30% of their peers from other ethnic groups. So we can't jump into everything because we'll probably be here for an hour.
I know, we kinda
but
did go.
we do got a couple questions for Thomas. I guess we could just go through like the more.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. So I'll just try to, let me
You go
just
ahead,
pick
because I
one.
don't really like the first one.
Okay. All right. Well, how about it's actually, let's see. So I'm going to ask Thomas, growing up as a young black man, because you know how we all know that, you know, like as a black man, you always got to show strength. And like mental health was not really talked about in our community. But as a young black man, how did you cope with stuff? Like, did you have somebody to talk to or confide in, or how did you deal with your
Even
emotions?
if it was negative, like,
You know what's crazy? And it's very abnormal. But if you had somebody to talk to or say you needed to talk to somebody, you were seen as you was crazy or something like that. So we always veered away from, you know, hey, trying to talk to somebody. I think that I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So we used each other, you know, to vent and talk and get feedback and things of that matter.
Okay.
You know, I came up in the streets, and my experience in the streets, you know, as a kid, you know, my brother's getting into trouble with other, you know, adolescent teens. Man, house was shot up a lot of times. Friends then passed away of theirs, you know, and just witnessing that and seeing that, you know. I remember back in like 1995 and listening to Master P and him talking about, you know, if I make it to the C21, I lived a long life. You know, back when I was 9 and 10 years old, I used to think like, dang, when I get 18, I'm gonna be dead. When I get 21, I'm gonna be dead, you know. But I guess it became normal because back then, every day in Youngstown, somebody was getting murdered. So it was like normal, you know, and I was, you know, so.
Even
I think
still
we just-
today, yeah.
I think we just kind of
Yeah.
use our friends and family to just cope with everything and just went with the flow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got a question you want
sad.
to? I know.
That's
it's-
really sad. And like you said, it is still today.
But it is good though that you at least had your siblings. You know what I mean? That's good. Art, how did you cope? Like, cause I know you said like
Yeah.
now as an adult, now that you're older, you finally
Yeah.
kind of did reach out. But what did you do when you was younger?
I didn't talk to nobody when I was younger about any problems because I was raised by my grandparents. So it was like a gap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like, you got your parents. Parents are a little cooler and they're a little more, being raised by my grandparents, it was like just old kind of, you know what I mean? So I couldn't really relate to them. They couldn't relate to me at all. My siblings, we were kind of split up and I was the oldest. So I'm not going to talk to my little brother or little sister about pretty much anything. So I just kind of like just dealt with it, you know what I mean? Just kept, and that's why I still like this now. I just keep everything in, you know what I mean? Like, don't show emotion type of person. Like,
are you trying to get away from that?
Yeah, I mean, I try, you know what I mean? It's sometimes I just feel so weird. I feel so weird, just kind of like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, trying to vent. Like, why am I don't want to vent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I always look at it like, and I know this is bad, but it's like, my problem is that bad. Like, I just go think about somebody that's doing way worse or something like that, and then I just be like, right, like, you got to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be worse.
I feel like that sometimes. Like, I used to be the one to hold it in my family because everybody came to me with their problems. I'm like the mediator.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how I am.
I kept it in, but I understand now that you're not confronting the problem when you just try to sweep it under the rug or act like it doesn't exist. Just because somebody's doing worse than you doesn't mean that your problems are not real. Right. They are valid and you are allowed to feel how you feel about what's going on in your life. That's just me personally. And I'm trying to get away from that because I think it affected my outlook on my own life. So I didn't like where I was, and I have been confronting things that I tried to ignore, but the problems are still there. So I'm just trying to heal, you got to heal. You have to talk about it and see what is like the cause of it. Like, you know what I mean? I can't really explain it, but I'm just not trying to ignore it anymore.
Right.
Because it did not like do me any good.
Yeah. And if y'all listen to the show, y'all know what I always say about my mental health, so I ain't gonna jump into that. I was the problem child, and I've been in therapy, like I said, since 5th grade.
We didn't ask each other how we was doing today.
I know. I forgot to do that. Okay, how are you doing today, Chae?
Today I'm doing great.
That's good.
I'm getting a new puppy tomorrow.
Aww.
And this one ain't gonna run away.
That's a fucked up thing to say.
That's why I really didn't want to say it, but I'm so excited I can't not say it.
I'm happy for you, though.
Is
Thank
your
you.
son excited?
Oh, yes. He is very excited. We are excited.
Good.
And how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a lot better, y'all. This week was really rough for me, especially at my job.
Jumped down my throat.
Thank
today.
God.
I ain't jumped down your throat, Art.
You damn near did.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Earlier, we was in a group chat, and Art was like, "So is today gonna be a sad episode?" And I was like, "What does that mean?"
Yes. You're so sensitive.
I was
I was having a hard day this
And
morning.
what did I say? Like, you know what? I don't like how you. Never mind. I don't like how you respond.
I apologize, but I'm in a better place now. I'm feeling good. How are you, Art?
The weather is great.
It's
I'm
so
great.
nice.
I'm just so happy that it is warm. I'm just smiling.
Yeah.
Did we ask Thomas how he's doing?
No. How are you, Thomas?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always in a great spirit.
Especially at work.
I always.
He be seeing me. I be losing my shit.
You see her?
We can't really talk about our job, but woo.
I know. I hear about it every day. I do want to ask another question before we, wrap it up and get to the end. So I wanted to ask, because I'm a black woman, do y'all think that us as black women make it hard for black men with their mental health, putting unrealistic expectations and pressures on y'all and judgments? Like, do you think we make it hard? You go answer, Thomas.
Take your time too, because
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree, by the way. But go ahead.
I can't put this on all black women,
right?
But some black women do make it hard because you got the bougie black woman that see these things that's just an illusion that's gonna be gone one day, but you want to live this up, and me as a leader, to want to take the initiative and want my family to elevate, you can't follow the lead because you social media and these things play a major factor into the women's thinking. You know, some women thinking, and then you bring it back, you know, to the man, and so it definitely make it pretty difficult because now I got all this stuff on my plate that I got to think about on top of everything else that I'm going through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so if we can't harmonize on, you know, the vision, and I'm not saying that I'm the dictator. I'm not the dictator, you know, as the man. You know, I'm just a protector and a provider and whatever else role I need to play as a black man, you know, as a man. Forget the black man, as the man. Whatever role I need to play, that's what I'm going to do, you know. But sometimes when you come in with all this weight and you throwing it on me, definitely make it hard.
Yeah. All right, do you have something?
Yeah, I will say that I agree. Yes, y'all make it hard. I do see more women trying to make the strides to be better at that, to have more black men open up, but you know, y'all got some work to do. You know,
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
y'all quick to throw it in the nigga face. You know,
I have changed some of my
You know what I'm
ways.
saying?
I have.
don't nobody,
Don't laugh.
don't nobody want that.
I just want to add though what y'all was saying. Y'all ain't bring up what I thought one of y'all was gonna say. I'm gonna say it because I sometimes, like I said, feel like I'm masculine. It's a lot of masculine women that make it hard for a man,
Yeah,
especially a black man.
Alpha male.
Yeah,
They
alpha
very
female.
Alpha female.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from that because I struggle
Yeah.
with that. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
I'm friends with alpha women, but I never like experienced like a
Relationship?
Yeah.
because
It's hard. It's hard.
I got mommy issues. I need you to be.
I got mommy and daddy issues, so hey. Real quick, one more question for Thomas, actually. Okay, so as a father, I know you said you have children, so as a father, I just want to ask, like, and you have a son specifically, how do you handle like his issues? Like, does he ever come to you with anything? Like, or do you, like, how do you advise him, like, when he struggles with his emotions or like anything like that?
My son, I'm blessed to have such a positive, good son that's very understanding. So, like 90% of the time, he just being a kid. He don't really never had problems. Like
That's
he
good.
got great friends, and you know, at school he good everywhere. So I never had to have a sit down with my son and discuss, you know, any type of issues or problems he having. But I'm ready though. I'm completely ready, you know, to discuss everything with him and educate him on, you know, how he should react and how he should be, you know. So
I'm glad
good.
you said that
Yeah,
because
that's
I was
good.
going to say, how are you prepared to? Because eventually one day we're all going to have something that we need to talk to somebody else about. So, yeah. And I have a black son. So he's in therapy at the age of 7. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. I used to, I took a long time to get him in there because I kind of was like, he's going to grow out of this. He's just a kid. He's going through temper tantrums and anger, but whatever. But the sooner the better to me.
I'm happy you did.
Every kid is different. Every
kid's
kid
different.
is not the same. Every kid does not cope with things the same way.
Right.
And if I'm being honest, he's just like Nina.
I was about to say that. That's why I was happy that you put him in therapy because literally at his
Yeah.
age, I saw myself. He acts exactly how I do. And like I mentioned before in another episode, y'all, like growing up in our family, I was punished for having issues. I'm trying not to get emotional. I know, Art, I'm not going to get emotional.
No, stop it.
But like I used to get beat for having issues and like they thought I was being bad, but it wasn't. It was deeper than that. So the
We
fact that
didn't
he's
know.
younger,
Yeah.
right? He's younger and you're seeing this. I'm just happy that you're getting help because
Yeah.
I just don't want him to be like how I was.
Well,
it was
see,
bad.
I wouldn't beat him for his anger or defiance. I just don't want him to get in trouble because he doesn't know what to do with his emotions. I want him to learn how to manage
Coping
them.
skills.
Yeah, that's what I want him
That's
to
the
do.
big
That's
thing.
my goal.
Coping skills.
Yeah, because he does not have his real father in his life. Like he kind of came around and now it's kind of like, I don't know, like he's not steady. So I know that's mentally messing with him. Even if he don't tell me that, I know it is. It's like subconsciously, there's no way that could not affect him.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to do some damage control early on and hopefully that works.
Yeah. That's good. Whew, sorry, y'all. I'm trying not to get emotional. I swear I wasn't gonna
It's
get emotional.
okay.
I feel like you got to learn how to do everything else as a kid. You go to school, you learn how to grow up, why not learn how to express yourself and understand why you feel in some type of way, or why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not be in therapy as a kid?
Right.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's like just having like another teacher that just
Yeah, and then you just don't feel like you can tell your parents everything either.
True.
Right.
He told me he doesn't want to tell me everything, and I'm okay with that as long as there's communication with me and his therapist. Like if there's anything I need to know, she will tell me.
Right.
But he don't have to tell me everything.
Yeah.
Because we all need to feel independent, even as a child. Like I do feel like, in Black families, we always said, "You ain't got no business. Your business is my business." Like, why can't we have any business? We can't feel like an individual.
All our sayings was terrible.
Yeah, children are seen, not heard.
Yeah.
You don't pay no bills around here. You ain't got no business. Like, what? Why would you even say that to a kid? They're not supposed to pay bills. You chose to bring them in this world, right?
We're getting off topic, y'all.
I know. I'm sorry.
I really don't.
I mean, it's a mental thing.
Yeah, that's mental. Like,
That's true.
And then
That's
you grow
true.
up feeling like just not right.
Yeah.
Can you do the summary, please?
Please do the summary.
All right, guys. Well, I'm doing my quote. Okay, so just to wrap things up, y'all, since Jay don't want to wrap it up.
I always wrap it up.
How'd you get that kid?
Y'all. Really? Okay. Anyway, how we go from talking about something serious to y'all being raunchy?
Because
Always.
it wouldn't be us if we did it.
You right. So I'm just... All right. So for many Black people in our generation and generations older than us, talking about our mental health was not a thing. Unresolved issues from the past have plagued many of us, but we can now break those generational curses because fortunately times are changing for us. And mental health is becoming an important topic for Black people, especially Black men. And now there are so many resources out there that can help. But the first step is reaching out. Y'all, as I always do, I have an inspirational quote. And this one is from, I'm going to mess up her name. Oh, no, it's just the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
But it's Rita Walker. That's Rita, right?
Yeah.
I like how she spelled it. Rheeda. Rita Walker.
That's different.
It's from the I can't talk, y'all. Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. Navigate an unequal system. Learn tools for emotional wellness and get the help you deserve. That's a long title, but I like it. Okay.
I thought that was the quote.
No. Okay, so this is the quote. If you or someone you care about cannot take on as much as someone else, that does not make you either weak or crazy. You just have to prepare differently and live your life unapologetically for you. So that was the quote of the day.
Peace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to tell everybody our handles real quick, Chae?
I would. So for those,
No sweet treat? Oh, I'm sorry.
Art, don't play with me.
I forgot.
You know
You
I
ain't
don't do it
forget.
no more.
He did it on purpose.
Y'all, why would you
I'm sorry. I
say this?
forgot.
All right. Anywho, for those of you who like to watch us, you can find us on our YouTube channel under MSK Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe. Or actually, you can't subscribe on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube.
You follow on Facebook.
Yes, follow on Facebook.
Like and follow.
Like and follow and share. It's going to be under My Sister's Keeper. Find us on audio on Apple and Spotify under My Sister's Keeper. And anyone with topic ideas or who would like to be a sponsor, you can email us at mskpod611@gmail.com.
And also, Thomas.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, one
Well, I want him
second.
to give
I got to
his
say my
socials.
Instagram.
Go say your Instagram.
My Instagram. Y'all follow me under Chae Yay _MSK. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thomas, did you want to tell your socials? Or that's up to you if you,
You know
want.
what?
That's up to you.
I'm sitting here like you all so professional. I don't got my handles down packed right now.
Okay.
But I have them though. I definitely get them. And
We can
when I,
add 'em.
Yeah, we'll add them in like our description.
Okay.
That's
I got a
fine.
YouTube handle and
Yeah, we'll attach
Instagram.
them. Okay.
We'll get those in
Yeah,
the
we definitely gonna get
description
those.
of our episodes, guys.
Oh, and also for YouTube, make sure if y'all watching, make sure you hit that motherfucking like button, hit the bell notification. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe because that helps our channel, y'all. And special shout out to our guest Thomas once again.
Thank you for
for
being
coming.
here.
We appreciate
Yes.
that. And once again, this has been another episode of
My Sister's Keeper.
All right.